Rev up your engines!
Husky says, 2022 Ford Maverick. I like the idea of a front-wheel drive pickup truck, but Ford's quality made in China and the new EcoBoost engine. Is this truck a good idea, or deemed to be a crappy truck? They're making all the Mavericks in Mexico. That always makes me kind of suspicious. They were originally saying they were going to put those crappy little 1.3 turbocharged engines in that truck. At least they're putting 4-cylinder engines in them. They're not putting the 3-cylinder engines in them. I'll give them that. I drove one. I was rather impressed. I thought it was kind of a fun thing to drive around. But who knows what the quality, what's going to come out? Are they going to have a bunch of problems? I withhold my judgment until 2 or 3 years from now when they've been out and you see, oh, they lasted. No, they didn't last. Who knows? Until they've been out. My experience is things made in Mexico are poorly made. They're not made as well. And they can have problems. But at least they didn't put the 3-cylinder engine in. They're putting a 4-cylinder. And I kind of like the idea of a front-wheel drive pickup truck, too. If they build them right. I like the design, and they rode really nice. The ones I road tested, yeah, it was interesting. But as will they last? Only time's going to tell on that one. Well, if you've been following that ship full of cars that started on fire in the Atlantic, they're all Volkswagen company, but I mean, they were Porsches, Bentleys, really expensive cars. It's sunk now, and it's real deep there, too. The depth to where it sank are like 2.17 miles deep. They won't be getting those cars back anytime soon. They just let it burn and then it sank. Boop. So much for all those cars, you know. So if your Bentley doesn't show up, you'll know why. It's at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, nobody was even hurt. The 22 crew members, they just took and put them in a hotel. They didn't even go to the hospital or anything, but the ship went down and went. We'll never know now why it started, but I'd love it if it was one of these electric cars, because they were electric cars on board that started on fire and burnt the whole thing down. Wouldn't that be a shocker? I mean, you really never saw ships burning and sinking that carried cars before. Now they got electric cars. It's 2.17 miles down, so who knows? If it is, they'd probably cover the whole thing up anyways. So, goodbye ship full of expensive Volkswagen products. It's now deep in Davy Jones' locker, 2.17 miles under the sea. Those Volkswagens won't be driven by anybody, and the luxury cars, Porsches, Bentleys, and now they've gone for a deep trip, never to come back. The other day, somebody was whining at me and said, hey, Scotty, how come you're so down on Kias and Korean cars? Well, guess what? Kia just recalled 130,000 souls for airbags that might not deploy. You know, you're trusting these things to just sit there and then deploy in a wreck. Well, they might not on these Kias. Now, these are 2014 Kia Souls, and it's because a faulty control module may not operate correctly. Now, earlier this year, for the same reason, they recalled 2017 to 2019 Souls, 2017 to 2018 Fortes, 2017 Forte Coupes, and 2017 to 19 Sedonas. And now, 128,000 2014 Souls are added. They're probably all bad, and they're just trying to cover their rear ends and not have to pay more money to fix them than they want to. They're always trying to downplay it. Oh, it's a rare occasion. In order for them to fail to deploy, collision would have to be severe to hit the both left and right sensors. Yeah. What? A front-end collision, right? What you really want airbags for is a front-end collision, and that's when they won't work. Me, I don't trust airbags. I use my seatbelts, you know. Seatbelts are there, they're in, they're tight. Make sure they're not frayed if you got an old car and the bolts are tight and that they click and they don't come out by themselves. When you just move around, if they do get a new one, put new seatbelts in. I wouldn't trust this technology. And Kia says to cover their own rear ends. This is, and I quote them, a rare crash event. We recall them as a precautionary measure. You can see the lawyers are involved in this one. FJ Cruiser says, isn't this just another marketing lie? I came across it, I can't believe it. Consumer Reports call them non-profit or scientific tests. No one in the world can accept that Mini is above Toyota or BMW above Honda. Isn't this just about marketing lie, not for some brands, but also for Consumer Reports? As the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. You can specify particular things and then make something that really doesn't mean anything look like it's big. Like one of the things that some of these places do is initial quality. What? The first 5 seconds you own the car? Who cares? I want to know it's like 5-10 years down the line, not the second you buy it, you know? A lot of these are based on who knows what. Maybe they find that if you're in a certain collision, if it comes just this right angle, well, the Mini is great for that, but it's got to hit at this one place and then you won't get destroyed. But if it hits you from the side to the front, it's all over. But on this one particular, there's so much BS involved in the test. What's it based on? And they never tell you what everything's actually based on. Our whole society's full of stuff like that these days. Even, say, additives for your car. I try to contact these companies. Well, what's in there? They say, well, we can't tell you. It's a trade secret. So you don't know what's actually even in the additives. They say, it works 5 times better. Well, how can you prove that? What's in it? Well, we can't tell you. The cereal boxes these days when you buy them, they got the ingredients, every little thing that's in them. Why can't we be told what's in these things we buy? And they say, well, it's a trade secret. And in this case, I don't believe with any of those magazines. One, I know what people get paid for magazines. They get paid diddly squat. I just talked to a guy who writes for a magazine. He's one of the writers for a professional magazine. You know what he gets? He gets $800 for writing an article. So if he gets 12 articles a year published, because it comes out once a month, he gets 800 times 12. You can't really live on that, right? So there's too much opening for graft and corruption when they don't pay these people enough. That was the whole problem with the Texas legislature in Texas was they only met once every so many years. They got peanut money paid, but boy, there's a lot of graft and corruption involved in behind the scenes, and that's why they're all running for office to get in. Well, I wouldn't trust any of these things myself. They're not mechanics. They don't actually fix them, and they don't get paid that much money. Who's going to believe what they're even saying? They might not have the knowledge, the experience, and they're not getting paid much, so why would I listen to what they have to say? Well, as usual, Jeep, owned by Stellantis, is posturing their electric future. Now they say they're going to have an electric Jeep that they unveiled. Well, they don't give any information about it, what's in it, when it's going to be made. But they showed a picture of a yellow and silver one. It looks cool, They say early next year they're going to launch the thing. Or what kind of specification it's going to have. Just that, we're going to be making this electric Jeep. Now, Stellantis itself claims that they're going to make 5 million electrical vehicles by the year 2030. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that one. They also plan on doubling their net revenues by 2030. Yeah, don't listen to the talk. Follow the money. If you saw the other day, Stellantis says, well, these people that are making parts for us, if they save money, they got to pass the saving on to us. We don't want to pay as much. This is going to work out well. You're not paying the people that are supplying you the parts correct amount of money. You're just asking for poor quality. And you're dealing with what? Chrysler, Fiat, Peugeot, companies that were not known for quality in the first place. And yeah, it looks good to the stock investors, right? Oh, we're going to make more money. We're going to cut our costs. The quality was already low. You cut your costs, the quality doesn't go up then. It goes even further down. You can make it, but will people buy it? The old, if you build it, they will come. Well, if you build these, maybe nobody will come and buy them. Well, things are starting to shake down the electric car market. General Motors just sold its stake in Lordstown Motors. That's the one that had all those problems, right? Well, they got rid of their stock. They're like, they're giving up with that one. And of course, that's that electric company that had all those frauds put against it. Now, this company's just kind of patently absurd. They say in 2022, they're going to produce 500 of these trucks, right? Spit in the bucket, of course. And then maybe by 2023, they're going to make 2,500 of these things. Who knows if they're going to make any? They originally said they're going to make 32,000 in their first year of full production. So, why would you invest in a company that are really proven fraud? Come on now. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Hey, why would anybody get involved with some company like that that's pulling all these scams, thinking that these people are real? Well, GM's realized it's not real. They pulled out of their deal, sold all their stock. Problem H says, what transmission is in my Hyundai? I got a 2013 Santa Fe 2.4 liter. I tried to research it, can't find out who makes the transmission. From 2017 onwards, the automatic transmissions in the Hyundais are actually designed and made by Hyundai. Before that, almost all of them were Jatco automatic transmissions, those crappy Nissan company, and they're horrible transmissions. The only way you can tell for sure is get your VIN number, the vehicle identification number, call a dealer, say, here's my vehicle, what transmission does it have in it? Odds are it's a Jatco. Now, you never know, but it wasn't until 2017 that Hyundai started making their own. They're better transmissions now, but you got a 2013, so odds are it's a Jatco automatic transmission. Surfing Bird says, how do I change my coolant? I got 2018 Chevy Malibu 1.5 Turbo 4. I want to flush it. Can I use Press-Stone Cooling Assist Flush in distilled water? Or just distilled water? Run until it runs normal operating temperature, drain it and fill it with coolant. Watch my video how to replace coolant in your car. You'll see there's lots of ways to do it. Probably the easiest way is put the flush in it first. Flush it all through, let it run it for 15-20 minutes, then start draining the stuff out. The big trick is, as soon as you start pouring cold coolant in, the thermostat shuts and it's a pain to get the air out. Do like I showed in my video. Get a big pot, get the water boiling, put the antifreeze in there, the new stuff. It'll be hot. So then when you pour it in the engine to refill it, it won't hit the thermostat and then shut it because it's cold, it's hot, and the thermostat will stay open and you won't get air in the system. It's a really good trick for doing it. Now, mechanics have power flush machines that have a heating element that heat it up, but you can easily heat the stuff up in a bucket of boiling water and then just pour it in like I do, and then you don't have to worry about the thermostat shutting while you're doing the work and then getting the air out of the system. It's a pain in the rear end. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.